Hello and welcome to this lesson. During this video we're going to learn how to write a letter. Okay, so here we have our template for writing a letter, and you can see that there are a number of elements in a letter, and I've divided these into boxes. So we're going to go through them. We'll talk what these different elements are, these different parts. So the first box here is the address box, and it's important to remember you write your address here. This is where the person who is writing the letter writes their address. Underneath that, we have a date box, and that box tells you when the letter was written. So you would write the date that you are writing the letter into this box. Over here on the left, we have a greeting, and this is basically where you say hello in your letter. Underneath this is the big box. This is where most of your letter is going to be written. Underneath that is where you end your letter with a goodbye message. And the very last thing you do is you have a signature in this box. And a signature is just your name, the name of the person who is writing the letter. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. So 6 elements to a letter. Let's have a look at this first box here, the address box. Now the first thing to note about the address box is it is at the top right hand side of the page, and it is the person who is writing the letter. This is where they write their name, or their address, sorry. So let's have a look. House and street number. That is the first line of a letter. So let's make up a house number and a street. Let's say 23 River Lane. And very important to note, after that we have a comma. The next line is the town. So what town this person is living in. River Lane, this person lives in Seatown. And again, a comma. The last line is the county. So for the county, let's say County Waterford. Now after the county we put a full stop because that's the last line of the address. 23 River Lane, house number 23 in River Lane, comma, Seatown is the town where River Lane is, and County Waterford is the county where Seatown is. 23 River Lane, comma, Seatown, comma, County Waterford, full stop. Now, the next box we have here is the date box, and it's very important that we write the date of when the letter was written. So today is the 25th of May, which is the 5th month, and the year is 2020. Now, all of this is pushed over to the right hand side of the page, okay? So there's the first 2 elements of our letter written. Now, in the greeting is where you say hello, and it's always on the left hand side of the page, okay? And here is where we would say something like, Dear Mary, comma. All right, we're using a comma because this is not the end of the sentence. This is the opening of the sentence. Dear Mary. Now we know who we are writing the letter to. If you were writing to, for example, at Christmas time, you would write a letter to Santa. It would be Dear Santa. If you were writing a letter to someone famous, Lionel Messi, Dear Lionel Messi, comma. Now, in this next box, this is the main body of your letter. This is where you write all of your letter, okay? You tell the other person your news, you ask them if they have any news, and all of the other things you want to discuss with them. Don't forget to use paragraphs if your letter is a bit longer. And remember how we said we were starting paragraphs? We would move in a little bit from the edge. So let's start doing that. Let's write a letter to Mary. Dear Mary, how are you? Question mark. How are you? I am well. Full stop. It was my birthday yesterday. I had a party. Full stop. It was fun. I got lots of presents. Now, we're going to write another little paragraph here asking about Mary. So, let's say, I heard you got a new pet unicorn. I think Rainbow McSparkles is a great name for a unicorn. Does he eat much pet food? There we go. Now, you can fill out more in that letter if you want. You can ask what kind of magical drinks Rainbow McSparkles drinks, or if he's got any special magic powers. You can tell Mary all about your super mystical pet goldfish. Anything you want to put into the letter goes into this box here. But when we come to the end of the letter, you can sign off with a goodbye. And there are lots of different goodbyes you could have. You could have yours sincerely, comma, or you could have yours respectfully, comma, or you could have yours faithfully, comma. And the final piece of the letter is a signature. And a signature is just your name. So, who's writing this letter? Ronald McDonald. N-A-L-D-M-A-C-D-O-N-A-L-D. Yours faithfully, Ronald McDonald. And that is how to write a letter. Remember, an address in the top right-hand corner, the date underneath it, a greeting or a salutation or a hello, then the main body of the letter here. Remember to break it into paragraphs if you're writing a long letter. Then the goodbye, yours faithfully or yours sincerely or your friend, and then the signature, the person's name. Okay, so once Ronald McDonald has finished writing this letter, he's going to want to post it to his friend Mary. And for that, he needs to write the address on an envelope. So, very important, when we're writing and addressing an envelope, the first thing we need is the person's name. Okay, why is that gone missing? There we go. So he's writing his letter to Miss Mary Masterson. So now the postman knows who to deliver this letter to. But he doesn't know where. So we need the address. We need Mary Masterson's address. And it's very similar to how we addressed the letter when we were writing it. Except instead of writing our own address, this time we're going to write Mary's address. So Mary lives in, 106 Valley Road. That is where her house is. Her house is number 106 on Valley Road. Now we need to know the town or the area. And let's just make it easy. Let's say Mary lives in Lucan. And we all know that the county that Lucan is in County Dublin. So now when the postman comes to deliver this letter, he can see that it is for Miss Mary Masterson, and she lives at 106 Valley Road, which is in the town of Lucan in County Dublin. And very important when we're posting letters, you have to remember to put the stamp up here in the top right hand corner. So now you know the 6 elements that make up a letter. You know how to write your own address at the top right hand corner of a letter. You know how to date a letter underneath the address. You know how to greet the person you are writing to on the left hand side of the page underneath the date line. You know to write your letter in paragraphs, end your letter with yours sincerely or your friend or kind regards or something like that, and you know that you have to sign your letter so that the person you're writing to knows who has written it. You also know how to address and stamp an envelope and prepare it to post it in the postbox. So now that you know all of this, why not try it? You could write a letter to a friend or a cousin, maybe an uncle or an aunt, maybe a grandparent. You could tell them all of the things you've been doing for the past few weeks. You could ask them what they've been doing for the last few weeks. Maybe you could ask your parents if you could post a letter to them. And when you're writing your letter, make sure to ask them if they would write a letter back to you. Thanks for watching.